Peace and greetings, channel squad. What's good? It's Thryce here. And at the request of another fellow tarot nerd, they would like for me to do a flip through of the Vertigo Tarot. I do have the first edition Vertigo Tarot here, and it is published by DC Comics, right? So when I open it up, that's what you see. It looks kind of meh, but the kit has a hardcover book written by Rachel Pollock and illustrated by Dave McKean. Now he's the same guy, or I believe this deck, if I'm remembering my things correctly here, the images on here are very resemblant of the first run of the Sandman series in DC. I'm sorry, Vertigo Comics. Yeah. So, anyways, they are reminiscent. If you look it up, I'll try to see if I can pop a picture of that original Sandman image in the video so that you guys can see it. These are not in order because I do use them occasionally, and so yeah, let me go ahead and get this situated so you can see them better. Alright, so there we go. We have the Three of Pentacles there. Now, I wouldn't say this is like initial thoughts because I have used this deck. I think it reads really well. I don't particularly consider it dark. I'm just going to talk while I flip through these, and feel free to pause. And if I have a thought about one specific, I will say something. Yeah, I don't find them, quote, dark per se, but I guess maybe I'm just numb to the concept of light and shadows, so that I don't really find things that are shadowy to necessarily be dark in nature, if that makes any sense. I do think, like this Queen of Cups, for example, is just, it's just so good. Yeah. This deck though. So there's the Lovers. I actually like that you can't really see, you can tell that the figures are naked, but you can't really tell whether they're male or female, so that works depending on your, you know, what your jam is. And then what do we have here? So that Nine of Cups. Here we have Judgment. Like this one is interesting because I almost feel like with the baby in that one, there's this sense of almost like a baptism, if you will, that's required or needed or suggested in the card. At least that's what comes into my mind when I see it. And you know, that whole point of baptism is about eternal judgment and this and this and that and whatnot. So yeah, so here's the Two of Wands. Here's this beautiful Moon card. Here's the Page of Wands. The Three of Swords. The Three of Cups. I think that this deck is very Piscean, like very Pisces like, in that there is a sense of submersion into the imagination and kind of these Like, this Emperor is like, you know, in a lot of other decks you would see, sometimes you will see the double card with chains, almost like this puppeteering kind of thing going on. But in this deck, they do that with the Emperor, which I think is fitting, but also very interesting as well. Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, I think that this deck is, at least for me, the way I'm looking at it, is very Piscean. Just because it, like I said, there's this abstract imagery that happens. The theme itself is shadowy, but when you read the deck, I feel like you really have to submerge yourself into what's going on with the images to really get a story out of it. Not that it's particularly difficult, it's just, it's not as surface layer as, like, let's say the Waite-Smith deck, where the symbolism and things are just like pop out to you, because it's all almost like 2D. This one, there's like dimension to all the images without being overly busy. You know, and I just find this deck really fascinating. Now, something else about this edition that I do like is that the cardstock is matte. It's pretty matte on the matte side. There would be slight reflection with photography. Ooh, that's a pretty Empress. With flash photography, excuse me. There'd be minimal flashback on there. Yeah, and when I see some of these images, it does remind me of things that I've maybe seen while I was dreaming. You know, when you dream, sometimes your dreams are not logical. You know, there's things that defy gravity, or defy the laws of nature or physics or what have you. And I really feel like this deck has that quality to it. And again, I'm only sharing this one because it was at the request of a fellow nerd, and I know that this one is not, as easy to obtain as a lot of other ones, but in spite of that, I'm sure people are curious to know what the cards actually look like to determine whether or not they would be willing to, dish that out if they so desire. I'm trying to go at a steady pace so that you can pause it if you want to for certain ones. There's the Fool card. Now, I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to determine if this falls in the Thoth camp or Rider-Waite-Smith camp. But I can't really think right now, especially because they're out of order. It really reads uniquely to either system, I feel, even if it is based on one of the two. Let me take this stack and refresh it. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. Now that I'm thinking about it, this deck kind of, there's a certain quality to it that I feel is similar to the Dali Tarot. It's not the same kind of artwork, but there's a similar quality to the way that the images read, which I quite like. I like this Queen of Pentacles. Look at this. You know, as many times as I use this deck, I don't really think I've ever seen the Queen of Pentacles in a reading for myself, which is usually one of my significator cards. But I love that whole thing going on there. That's pretty cool. Six of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Ten of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Strength. I think Strength is a diva, yo. The World. Here's the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Swords, Seven of Wands, the Hierophant, Seven of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. So there it is. There's your flip through for the Vertigo Tarot. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything about it, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you on it. So until next time, much love, many blessings, peace.